Hello everyone, welcome to Compound Interest Exercise Part 1. In this exercise, we are going to do questions based on finding principal. The images used in our slide deck are for educational purpose only. We respect the intellectual property rights of the original creators and owners of these images. If you are the owner of any of the images used in this deck and have any concern or issues, please contact us at sathee@iitk.ac.in and we shall remove the images. Now these are the formulas which we are going to use while solving the questions. Formulas for calculating simple interest, that is SI is equal to P into R into T upon 100, where SI is equal to simple interest, P is principal, R is rate and T is time. Then we have formula for calculating amount of simple interest, that is equal to amount is equal to simple interest plus principal P, where P is principal, A is amount, SI is simple interest. Then we have formula for calculating compound interest. Compound interest is equal to principal into 1 plus R upon 100 raised to power n minus 1, where CI is compound interest, P is principal, R is rate and n is time. Then we have formula for calculating amount or principal or rate. Amount is equal to principal into 1 plus R upon 100 raised to power t, where A is amount, P is principal, R is rate and T is time. Then we have difference between CI and SI for 2 years. CI and SI, the difference is equal to PR square upon 100 square. Then we have difference between SCI and SI for 3 years. The difference is equal to PR square into 300 plus R upon 100 cube. Then we have formula for calculating installment on simple interest SI. Let each installment be rupees A. Then A is equal to 100P upon 100T plus RT into T minus 1 upon 2. Now moving on to the questions. Question says that Mohit invested rupees 10,000 in two different schemes, NSC and PPF, at an annual compound interest rate of 14% and 11% respectively. If the total amount of interest received in 2 years is rupees 2,726, then what was the amount invested in PPF? And the options are option A, rupees 5,000, option B, rupees 4,000, option C, rupees 6,000, and option D, rupees 7,000. These are the options. And you have 10 seconds to find that which option is correct. After that, I will do the solution for you. The question said that Mohit has invested rupees 10,000 in two different schemes and they have different rate of interest, 14% and 11%. And total amount received after 2 years was rupees 2,726. Then we have to find the amount invested in the scheme which was named as PPF. Now the answer to this question is rupees 4,000 and we are going to use formula 9.4 to solve this question. Now let us have a look at the solution of this question. Let amount invested in NSC is rupees X. Then amount invested in PPF is equal to rupees 10,000 minus X, because total amount invested was rupees 10,000. And if out of that 10,000, X rupees has been invested in NSC, that means 10,000 minus X should have been invested in PPF. Therefore, on amount X at the rate of 14% per annum for 2 years, the amount is going to be equal to X into 1 plus 14 upon 100 whole square. We have used formula 9.4 plus and on amount 10,000 minus X, the amount is going to be 10,000 minus X into 1 plus 11 upon 100 whole square. That should be equal to 10,000 plus and total interest was 2,726. That means principal plus interest, that is the total amount, should be equal to 10,000 plus 2,726. Therefore, x into 1 plus 14 upon 100 is 114 upon 100. But here it is whole square. That means we have to write 114 upon 100 two times. So we have written 114 upon 100 into 114 upon 100 plus 10,000 minus x into 1 plus 11 upon 100 is 111 upon 100. It is whole square. That is why we have written 111 upon 100 into 111 upon 100. 10,000 plus 2,726 becomes 12,726. Then 114 into 114, that is 12,996 into x upon 10,000. 100 into 100 is 10,000 plus 10,000 minus x into 111 into 111 is 12321 upon 100 into 100 is 10,000, and that thing is equal to 12,726. Then 12,996x upon 10,000 plus 123210000 minus 12,321x upon 10,000 is equal to 12,726. Therefore, after taking 10,000 as the LCM, we get an equation that is 12,996x plus 123210000 minus 12,321x is equal to 12726 into 10,000. So it gives us 4 zeros at the end, 0000. Therefore, 12,996 minus 12,321x becomes 675x, that is equal to 4050000. Therefore, the value of x is going to be equal to 4050000 divided by 675, that is 6,000. Therefore, if x is 6,000, then amount on PPF was 10,000 minus x. Therefore, 10,000 minus 6,000, that becomes equal to 4,000 is the amount that has been invested in the scheme PPF. So option B is the correct answer. Next is find the amount of interest for the third year at the rate of annual compound interest on rupees 2,000 at a rate of 40%. And the options are option A rupees 1,500, option B rupees 1,600, option C rupees 1,568, and option D rupees 1,750. These are the options. So it was given to us that annual rate of interest was rupees 40%, and we have to find the amount of interest for the third year on rupees 2,000. The answer to this question is option C, 1,568, and we are going to use formula 9.4 to solve this question. Principal was rupees 2,000, rate was 40%. So interest for 3 years according to formula 9.4 is going to be equal to 2,000 into 1 plus 40 upon 100 raised to the power 3 minus 1. So interest is equal to amount minus principal. Therefore, 2,000 into 1 plus 40 upon 100 becomes 7 upon 5 whole cube minus 2,000 into 1 is 2,000. Therefore, we have 5,488 minus 2,000, that is equal to 3,488. So interest for 2 years is 2,000 into 1 plus 40 upon 100 raised to power 2, because this time we are taking 2 years. So we have put power 2 according to formula 9.4 minus principal, that is 2,000. That becomes 3,920 minus 2,000, that is 1,920. So interest for third year is going to be interest for 3 years minus interest for 2 years, that is 3,488 minus 1,920, that is rupees 1,568. So option number C is the correct answer. Next, an amount of rupees 16,400 is borrowed and is to be repaid in 2 years in equal annual installments at the rate of 5% compound interest. Find the amount of annual payment. And the options are option A, rupees 7,590, option B, rupees 7,495, option C, rupees 7,600, and option D, rupees 8,820. These are the options. So we have an amount of rupees 16,400 and is borrowed and is to be repaid in 2 years. And equal installments are paid at the rate of 5% compound interest. We have to find the amount of annual payment. The answer to this question is option D, rupees 8,820. And we are going to use formula 9.7 to solve this question. So given was total amount is equal to installment into 1 upon 1 plus r upon 100 raised to power 1 plus 1 upon 1 plus r upon 100 raised to power 2. So total amount was 16,400. That is equal to installment that we don't know. So we have put the value of installment as x into 1 plus 1 up into 1 upon 1 plus rate is 5%. So in place of r we have put 5 upon 100 raised to power 1 plus 1 upon 1 plus again rate is 5 upon 100 raised to power 2. Because we have two installments, so maximum power we can go till 2. So 16,400 is equal to x into that becomes 1 upon 21 divided by 20 plus 1 upon 21 upon 20 whole square. That is equal to x into 20 upon 21 plus 20 square is 400 upon 21 square is 441. Therefore, 16,400 becomes equal to x into 420 plus 400 upon 441 because we have taken 441 as the LCM. So 21 into 21 is 441. So 21 into 20 is 420 plus 400 upon 441. That becomes x into 820. 420 plus 400 is 820 upon 441. So the value of x is going to be 20 into 441. That is 8,820. So option D is the correct answer. Then next is a woman invested rupees 200 at the beginning of every year at a 5% compound interest rate. At the end of the second year, its total investment amount will be. And options are option A, rupees 431, option B, rupees 430.5, option C, rupees 435, and option D, rupees 430. These are the options. Woman has invested rupees 200 at the beginning of every year and the rate of interest at 5% compounded. So at the end of second year, its total investment amount will be that we have to find. The answer to this question is option B, rupees 430.5, and we are using formula 9.4 to solve this question. So for first year, the principal was rupees 200, rate was 5%, and time was only 1 year. So compounded amount that is going to be equal to principal into 1 plus r upon 100 raised to power t using formula 9.4. Therefore, principal is 200 into 1 plus r is 5 upon 100 and t is 1. Therefore, 200 into 1 plus 5 upon 100 is 21 upon 20. That becomes rupees 210. Then, again for second year, principal becomes rupees 210 plus initial principal that is rupees 200, that is 410. So for the second year, the principal has become principal for the first year plus the compound interest that is rupees 410. Rate was 5% and time was also 1 year. Therefore, new compounded amount is going to be using formula 19.7, that is 410 into 1 plus 5 upon 100 raised to power 1. That is 410 into 1 plus 5 upon 100 is 21 upon 20. That is rupees 430.50. Therefore, option B, rupees 430.5 is the correct answer. Next, a certain sum of money was invested at compound interest at 4% per annum for 2 years at compound interest. This amount becomes rupees 338. Find the amount. And the options are option A, rupees 320, option B, rupees 312.5, option C, rupees 318.53, and option D, rupees 315. These are the options. So the answer to this question is rupees 312.5, and we are going to use formula 9.4 to solve this question. It is given that R is 4%, amount is rupees 338, and time is 2 years. We have to find P, principal. So as per the question, amount is equal to P into 1 plus R upon 100 raised to power T, that is formula 9.4. Therefore, 338 is equal to P into 1 plus R is 4 upon 100 and T is 2. So 1 plus 4 upon 100 whole square. Therefore, 338 is equal to P into 1 plus 4 upon 100 is 26 upon 25. That is whole square. So P is going to be equal to 211250 upon 676. That is 312.5 rupees. So option number B is the correct answer. Next is, an amount is invested for 2 years at 20% compound interest. If the interest is payable on a half yearly basis, then it receives rupees 482 more than that which was payable on an annual basis. Find the amount. And the options are option A, rupees 19,500, option B, rupees 20,000, option C, rupees 21,800, and option D, rupees 30,000. These are the options. We were given that the amount is invested for 2 years at 20% compound interest and it is payable on half yearly basis. Then it receives rupees 482 more than when it was payable on the annual basis. We have to find the amount. The answer to this question is rupees 20,000, and we are going to use formula 9.4 to solve this question. Now let's have a look at the solution of this question. Let the principal amount is rupees X. Rate of compound interest was 20%. Then compound interest is equal to principal into 1 plus a rate upon 100 raised to power time minus 1. That is equal to principal we have assumed to be X. So X into 1 plus rate was 20. So 1 plus 20 upon 100 and time was 2. Therefore 1 plus 20 upon 100 whole square minus 1. That becomes X into 1 plus 20 upon 100 is 1 upon 5 whole square minus 1. Therefore, if interest are half yearly payable, then rate of interest becomes half, that is 10%, and time becomes 4 years. Compound interest then is going to be equal to principal into 1 plus rate upon 100 raised to our time minus 1. Principal we have assumed to be X into 1 plus rate has become now 10%, so 1 plus 10 upon 100, and time has become 4 years, so power 4 minus 1. That is X into 1 plus 10 upon 100 is 11 upon 10 whole power 4 minus 1. So X into 11 upon 10 whole power 4 is 11 into 11 into 11 into 11 minus 10,000 upon 10,000. So as per the question, 4641x upon 10,000 minus 11x upon 25 should be equal to 482, because it was said that he received rupees 482 more when the amount was payable on an annual basis. Therefore, 4641x minus 4400x upon 10,000 is equal to rupees 482. That means 241x upon 10,000 is equal to 482. So x is going to be equal to twice of 10,000, that is 20,000 rupees. That means option number B is the correct answer. Next, a fixed amount becomes rupees 2,420 in 2 years at a rate of compound interest and rupees 2,662 in 3 years. The interest was calculated on an annual compound basis. Find the amount and rate of interest annually. And the options are option A, rupees 1000 and 12%, option B, rupees 2000 and 10%, option C, rupees 2250 and 15%, and option D is 2500 and 5%. These are the options. Now, the answer to this question is option B, rupees 2000 and 10%, and we are going to use formula 9.4 to solve this question. Let the amount P and interest rate is R%, then compounded amount is equal to P into 1 plus R upon 100 raised to power n, where n is the number of years. So according to the question, 2420 should be equal to principal into 1 plus R upon 100 whole square, because time was 2 years. That becomes our equation 1. Then we have 2662 equal to P into 1 plus R upon 100 when the amount was for 3 years. So we have written power 3. That is our equation 2. So on dividing equation 2 from 1, we get 1 plus R upon 100 is equal to 2662 upon 2420. Therefore, from this equation, the value of R is going to be 10%. Now from equation 1, 2420 equal to P into 1 plus, in place of R we have put 10, so 1 plus 10 upon 100 whole square. Therefore P is going to be equal to 2420 into 10 upon 11 into 10 upon 11, that is rupees 2000. That means our answer is option B. Principal is rupees 2000 and rate of interest is 10%. So option B is the correct answer. Next is Mr. Marthi invested rupees 16,000 in a scheme. How much money will be get when he becomes an adult if he invests it for 9 months quarterly at a compound interest of 20% per annum? And the options are option A, rupees 18,523, option B, rupees 18,521, option C, rupees 18,524, and option D is rupees 18,522. These are the options. So Mr. Marthi has invested rupees 16,000 in a scheme. We have to find out how much money will he get when he becomes adult if he invested for 9 months quarterly at a compound interest of 20% per annum. The answer to this question is option D, rupees 18,522, and we are going to use formula 9.4 to solve this question. So compound interest rate on quarter is going to be equal to 20 upon 4%, that is 5%. Because if the compound interest rate was 20% annually, then for a quarter it is going to be 1/4, that is 5%. Time is going to be 9 months, that is 3 quarters. So received amount on being adult of Marthi is equal to rupees 16,000 into 1 plus 5 upon 100 whole cube. Because formula 9.4 says that amount is equal to P into 1 plus R upon 100 as to our n, where n is the number of years, P is the principal, and A is the amount, and R is the rate of interest. Therefore 16,000 into 1 plus 5 upon 100 is 21 upon 20 whole cube. That becomes rupees 16,000 into 21 into 21 into 21 upon 20 into 20 into 20, that is rupees 18,522. That means option number D is the correct answer. Next is, a person borrowed money at 9% simple interest and invested it at 10% compound interest for 3 years. After 3 years, he received profit of rupees 1952. How much money did he borrow? And the options are option A, rupees 30,000, option B rupees 32,000, option C rupees 33,000, and option D rupees 32,543. These are the options. So the answer to this question is option B, rupees 32,000, and we are going to use formula 9.4 to solve this question. Suppose borrowed amount is rupees X. Net profit is going to be compound interest minus simple interest. So as per the question, X into 1 plus 10 upon 100 whole cube minus 1 minus simple interest, that is X into 9 into 3 upon 100, is going to be equal to 1952, which is the profit. Therefore, X into 1 plus 10 upon 100 is 11 upon 10 whole cube minus 1 minus X into 9 into 3 upon 100, that is equal to 1952. Therefore, X into 11 cube is 1331 upon 10 cube is 1000 minus 1 minus X into 9 into 3 upon 100, that is equal to 1952. So X into 1331 minus 1000 upon 1000 minus X into 9 into 3 upon 100, that is equal to 1952. Therefore, X into 1331 minus 1000 is 331 upon 1000 minus 9 into 3 is 27x upon 100, that is equal to 1952. Taking x common, we get 331 minus 270 upon 1000, that is equal to 1952. Therefore, x into 61 upon 1000 is equal to 1952. Therefore, x is going to be equal to 32 into 1000, that is 32,000. So option B, amount he borrowed was rupees 32,000, is the correct answer. Next, the money invested for 2 years is to be compounded on an annual basis at a rate of 20% per annum. At maturity, it becomes rupees 324. What was the initial amount invested? And the options are option A, rupees 240, option B, rupees 200, option C, rupees 250, and option D, rupees 225. These are the options. And I'm giving you 10 seconds to find out the correct answer. After that, I will do the solution for you. So the answer to this question is option D, rupees 225. And we are going to use formula 9.4 to solve this question. Let amount is equal to rupees P, time is equal to 2 years, that was given, and rate is 20% annual, that was also given in the question. Therefore, using formula 9.4, 324 is equal to P into 1 plus R upon 100, that is 20 upon 100 raised to power T. T is 2 years, so power 2. Therefore, 324 is equal to P into 1 plus 20 upon 100 is 6 upon 5. And here it is whole square, so we have written P into 6 upon 5 into 6 upon 5. Therefore, P is going to be equal to 324 into 25 upon 36. Thus, P is rupees 225. So option D, rupees 225 is the correct answer. We have got P is equal to rupees 225. So option D is correct. Next, when there is an annual compound interest at the rate of around 9% per annum, what will be the amount of rupees 5,000 after 2 years? And the options are option A, rupees 5,940, option B, rupees 9,950, option C, rupees 5,970, and option D is rupees 5,936. These are the options. So we have to find that what will be the amount of rupees 5,000 after 2 years if rate of interest is 9% per annum. The answer to this question is option A, rupees 5,940. And we are going to use formula 9.4 to solve this question. Principal P was rupees 5,000 given in the question. Time was 2 years and rate of interest was 9% per annum. Therefore, compounded amount is going to be equal to principal into 1 plus rate upon 100 raised to our time according to formula 9.4. Therefore, 5,000 into 1 plus 9 upon 100 whole square, that is equal to 5,000 into 1 plus 9 upon 100 is 109 upon 100. Here power is 2. So we have written by 109 upon 100 into 109 upon 100. That becomes 5 into 109 into 109 upon 10. That is equal to 5,940.5, or that is approximately equal to 5,940. So option A is the correct answer. Next is Shyam deposits rupees X for 2 years at 8% per annum compound annual interest, which becomes rupees 72,900. Then what is the value of X? And the options are option A, rupees 60,500, option B, rupees 62,000, option C, rupees 60,000, and option D, rupees 62,500. These are the options. So Shyam deposited rupees X for 2 years at 8% compound interest, and that has become rupees 72,900. Then we have to find that what is the value of X. Now the answer to this question is option D, rupees 62,500. And we are going to use formula 9.4 to solve this question. Now let us have a look at the solution of this question. Rate of interest was 8% given in the question. Number of years was 2 years. And amount become was rupees 72,900. Therefore, using formula 9.4, A is equal to P into 1 plus R upon 100 raised to power n. That becomes 72,900 is equal to P into 1 plus R is 8 upon 100 and T is 2. So power 2. Therefore, 72,900 is equal to P into 1 plus 8 upon 100 is 108 upon 100. So P into 108 upon 100 into 108 upon 8 upon 100. Therefore, principal P is 72,900 into 100 into 100 upon 108 into 108. Therefore, the value of P, principal, or the amount invested, is rupees 62,500. Option number D is the correct answer. Next is, if rupees 10,000 is invested at the rate of 20% per annum at half yearly compound interest, then what will be the amount after 18 months? And the options are option A, rupees 16,000, option B, rupees 13,310, option C, rupees 13,000, and option D is rupees 13,140. These are the options. So we were given in the question that rupees 10,000 is invested and the rate of interest is 20%, but at an half yearly compound interest. Then we have to find that what will be the amount after 18 months. Now the answer to this question is option B, rupees 13,310, and we are going to use formula 9.4 to solve this question. Here the time was 18 months, and in 18 months there are 3 half years, so that is 3 half yearly. Rate of interest was 20% per annum or annually, but for half yearly it is going to be half, that is 10% half yearly. Then required amount is going to be equal to principal into 1 plus R upon 100 raised to power T, that is formula 9.4. Therefore, 10,000 into 1 plus 10 upon 100 whole cube, putting the values of P, R and T. So 10,000 into 1 plus 10 upon 100 is 1 upon 110 upon 100, that is 11 upon 10, but it is cube, so we have written 11 upon 10 into 11 upon 10 into 11 upon 10, and on simplification it becomes rupees 13,310. Therefore, option number B is the correct answer. Next is, if you have invested rupees 100 on a 40% annual interest, which would be a quarterly compounded, how much amount will you get after 1 year? And the options are option A, rupees 148.11, option B, rupees 146.41, option C is rupees 145.61, and option D is rupees 149.01. These are the options. And I'm giving you 10 seconds to find that which option is correct, and after that I will do the solution. So it is given that we have invested rupees 100 on 40% annual rate, and that would be quarterly compounded. Then we have to find out how much amount will be got after 1 year. The answer to this question is option B, rupees 146.41, and we are going to use formula 9.4 to solve this question. Interest rate is equal to 40% annual. That was given in the question. Therefore, quarter interest rate is going to be equal to 40 into 3 upon 12, that is 10. Time is 4 quarters because in 1 year there are 4 quarters. So amount after 1 year is going to be equal to 100 into 1 plus 10 upon 100 raised to power 4. We have used formula 9.4 and we have put the value of P, R and T. That is equal to 100 into 1 plus 10 upon 100 is 11 upon 10. So power is 4. So we have to write 11 upon 10 4 times. 11 upon 10 into 11 upon 10 into 11 upon 10 into 11 upon 10. That becomes equal to 121 into 121 upon 100. Because 100 will be cancelled out by 2 tens. 11 into 11 is 121 and the other 11 into 11 is 121 and 10 into 10 is 100. Therefore, rupees 146.41 is the amount after 1 year. Option number B is the correct answer. Next, a woman invested rupees 2000 per year at the beginning of every year at a compound interest rate of 5%. How much will she invest at the end of second year? And the options are option A, rupees 4305, option B, rupees 430, option C, rupees 4355, and option D, rupees 4350. These are the options. The woman was investing rupees 2000 per year at the beginning of every year, and the interest rate is 5%. We have to find out how much will she invest at the end of the second year. Now the answer to this question is option A, rupees 4305, and we are going to use formula 9.4 to solve this question. Received amount in first year is invested amount plus simple interest, that is 2000 plus simple interest is P into R into T, that is 2000 into 5 into 1 upon 100, that becomes rupees 2100. Then received amount in second year is going to be invested amount plus simple interest, that is 2100 plus 2000 plus simple interest, that is P into R into T. Because now the invested amount is going to be 2100 plus 2000, that is 4100. So we have taken our principal to be 4100 into rate was 5 into T upon 100. That becomes rupees 4100 plus 205, that is 4305. Hence, the woman invests rupees 4305 at the end of the second year. So option A is going to be the correct answer. Next, a person borrows a certain amount from a bank for 3 years at a rate of 7% compound interest annually. If he paid rupees 85,966 as total interest, then what was the amount borrowed? And the options are option A, 4,62,000, option B, 3,82,000, option C, 54,000, and option D is 4,28,000. These are the options. Now, the answer to this question is option B, rupees 3,82,000, and we are going to use formula 9.4 to solve this question. So let borrowed amount is equal to rupees X, then amount A is equal to principal plus interest, that is X plus rupees 85,966. Because we know that amount is equal to principal into 1 plus R upon 100 raised to power n. Therefore, X plus 85,966 is going to be equal to X into 1 plus rate was 7 upon 100 and time was 3 years, so power 3. So X plus 85,966 is equal to X into 1 plus 7 upon 100 is 1.07, power is 3, so whole cube. Therefore, X plus 85,966 is equal to 1.225043x. Thus, 0.225043x is equal to 85,966. So the value of x is going to be equal to 85,966 upon 0.225043. That is equal to 3,81,998.107. That can also be approximately be equal to 3,82,000. So option B is the correct answer. Next is, after 2 years of rupees 80,000 from compound interest compounded half yearly, what will be the amount at the rate of 20%? The rate is annual. And the options are option A, rupees 97,240, option B, 1,17,128, option C is 1,15,200, and option D, 1,20,000. These are the options. Now, the answer to this question is option B, rupees 1,17,128, and we are going to use formula 9.4 to solve this question. Because interest it is half yearly, time that was 2 years, that is equal to 4 half year, and rate that was 20% becomes half, that is 10% half yearly. Therefore, amount is equal to 80,000 into 1 plus rate is 10 upon 100 and time is 4, so power 4. That is equal to 80,000 into 1 plus 10 upon 100 is 11 upon 10, power is 4. So we have written 11 upon 10 4 times. That is 11 upon 10 into 11 upon 10 into 11 upon 10 into 11 upon 10. After multiplication, it becomes rupees 1,17,128. That means option B is the correct answer. Next, a person takes a fixed amount from a bank at a rate of 8% interest with interest compounded half yearly. If he paid rupees 1,96,851 after 1.5 years, find the principal. And the options are option A, 1,68,000, option B, 1,75,000, option C, 1,79,000, and option D is 1,84,000. These are the options. So it was given that the person takes a fixed amount from a bank, rate of interest was 8%, compounded half yearly, and the person has paid rupees 1,96,851 after 1.5 years. Then we have to find the principal. Now the answer to this question is option B, 1,75,000, and we are going to use formula 9.4 to solve this question. Given things were rate that is 8 annually, and that becomes 4% half yearly. Time was 1.5 years, that is 3 half years. So therefore, principal according to formula 9.4 is going to be equal to 1,96,851 upon 1 plus 4 upon 100 whole cube. That is 1,96,851 upon 1 plus 4 upon 100 is 26 upon 25. So 26 upon 25 whole cube. That becomes 1,96,851 into 25 cube is 25 into 25 into 25, and 26 cube is 26 into 26 into 26. That is 1,74,999.82, or it can be written after rounding off to 1,75,000. So option number B is the correct answer. Next is, if P expresses the principal invested at the semi-annual rate for a period of 2 years at a 5% interest rate, then after 2 years, how much amount will he receive? And options are option A, P into 1.025 power 4. Option B is P into 1.1. Option C is P into 1.05 whole square. And option D is P into 1.025 whole square. These are the options. Now the answer to this question is option A, P into 1.025 power 4, and we are going to use formula 9.4 to solve this question. 2 years is equal to 4 half years. Rate that was 5%, and if it is half yearly, it becomes 5.2%. Then using formula 9.4, that is A equal to P into 1 plus R upon 100 raised to power n, that becomes A equal to P into 1 plus rate is 5/2. So 5/2 into 100 power 4. Time was 4 half years. Therefore, amount is equal to P into 41 upon 40 power 4. Thus, A equal to P into 41 upon 40 is 1.025 and power 4 was already there. Therefore, option A, P into 1.025 power 4 is the correct answer. Option number A is correct. So these were the questions. Thank you very much for joining the session.